Salam Marshal Mandalo, Kuza, Biyashka, Kusu, Biyashka, Way North Economy.
To all of you who are present here, I give blessings of Allah to you and say Assalamu alaikum to all our Muslim brothers up here from the Chechen people.
Alhamdulillah, welcome here from Moscow. Welcome here from Alpha. Both in the world, where North Market, North Kam, Saxon, Jima, Bokba, Razotetan, Rasti, where Market Arakan, Rasti, Ishabin, Dolomberkan, where Kam, where Moch, Rasti, Balia, Elabia.
With the grace of Allah and with the unity of the Chechen people, old and young, we stood one hand and one heart and we fought against the Russian aggression and we chased out the last Russian soldier from the Chechen Republic.
Yok, vermiyoruz. O dünyanın kıyırmış diyoruz. Su yok, inziriye, kesip açal, yok da. Gözde, hızlı, uzun, ve nokçı kan, mister bağlı olsa, o diye başaraha, su rastı, böyle doğuş diyoruz, su rastı var.
Russia is a superpower with big population and big army, and with such power, they have threatened the area where they live at, but with the grace of Allah, a solid believing Muslim people, a tiny nation of Chechnya, is nearing and close to the Russian Empire, and Chechens have fought for their independence.
Nokçı kan, daima, su yok, inziri, rastı, kaç haltı, temel yakıştı. Temel sen bunu çıktıraş somerçe tüm tajaptı hartı ve nokçi bilmiş adet ve busul ve iman ve özgürlük ve hılka hartı yok ya rastı tümdere terhilç tederverdiş kısmen.
The Chechen people have been in constant struggle and war with Russia, and the reason for that is the Chechen customs, the adat, the taqalid, the customs and habits of the Chechen people, which is very reminiscent of the Muslim traditions and customs, and they cannot coexist with the customs and traditions of the Russian people. Therefore, that is the main reason that we have had wars with them.
Odaya başara, oydayışa, bina razı paçaltım, razı çıtatlım, kumalide, daima temya, oydayışa yolun bakışılar, takın, buluş temya, ve nokçi komboş, sayattır, oydayışla gezdir, tarih yahtı desverdir, tarih diyorum, tarih yahtı ilerdir, işte kısım, lıhtı derse, kısım alsın bakış. Daima Allah, oydayışsın, İtvan bayrabi on halla yunalla halka yeli derin ilfiyatım beli ve tükersiniz stolun der.
Our fathers and grandfathers have fought against the Russian occupation and transgression, and we have picked up where our grandfathers have left. Our grandfathers have won battles and wars, and we took up the weapons that were left to us by our grandfathers, and we carried on the war, and by the grace of Allah and by the will of our people, we have been victorious against the fight with the Russian Empire.
Milyon army nokçi mahtçıysa her dünya şin sahte rastı köylerdi, sanki ilmek köylerdi, tanbata nokçi amkalıkin adafırdı doğuşu, diyen vaşı fenişe
The Russians sent in close to 500,000 soldiers to Chechnya, and the world held its breath, and they were saying and guessing that the Chechens will fall within 2 hours or a week, or if you give them as much as a month, but this did not materialize.
O dünyanın da mevdu değişti. Paçal, yeşil paçalkış. Anlışı şeyin tigah dostur sıgımat bir şey var.
And the international community pretended that they did not know what was going on in the war in Chechnya, and they looked the other way.
Alhamdulillah, değil, kıyafetim, halka ben, değil, ben çekim, değil, nit, alsın ben, nohçe kampiyo.
But by the grace of Allah and the guidance and protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we were delivered and Allah gave us victory. The most important thing is that a Muslim should put his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a great struggle for the Chechen people today, and that struggle is the Chechen people are trying to set a new and the first Muslim government in the world. And to prohibit that from happening, the enemy has mobilized its forces and doing whatever they can to destroy that dream of ours.
Juhu, تشوح زومش كذا دوش juhu نوش هو تشتكر نوش سيدا كمشتو أخشوا تتمو أدم بيلدني خوش أبدني خوش أدم يجوهم دي خوش juhu إشتغل بنا أبنا إشتغل عشان تعطون
Realizing that the people are tired of the war and weary of the war, they are jobless and they are without any means of support. They have started arousing the doubts of the people and trying to vilify the Chechen people by instigating acts of aggression and lawlessness in the land, but they will not succeed, inshallah.
Noche Hamdu, Noche Bionol, Hamodo Adat, Terna, Noche Bionabat, Ichalo, Larlo Yosbu, Larlo Yahdu.
But the Chechen people are tough and patient people, and they will prevail, and all these maneuvers and the actions that the Russian government is doing inside Chechnya will not prevail, and inshallah we will prevail.
Check you not new tapitna is hoş Afghanistan.
What they are hoping for is that to instill division amongst the Chechen people after the war, since they could not succeed on the battlefront. They are trying to divide the Chechen people and pit them against each other and to have a civil war so they can come and march in again, but they will not succeed.
So yeah, the Mullah Ketan Olsen Bella, so no Norchikam, Zerdiller, has the Lord Sediller, Norchikam, and Yasan Delta, Juhu, Haj Mushkit, She Idol Hajim, which I'll call that.
But these maneuvers did not materialize, and the Chechen people have learned a hard lesson. They do not believe these rumors that are spread in the Chechen Republic. They stood as one hand and one heart, and they repulsed all these rumors, and they held democratic elections and elected a democratic republic to lead them in these hard times.
Піч почав гергело це зігретеше і піч почав нахтучу цибахи гретеше ще що зумш казав до що іш діяні дакайбаш нохчі сіда
They have vilified the Chechen people in the public media. They are staging those kidnappings and blaming it on the Chechens to discredit the people of Chechnya and to discredit other governments in coming into Chechnya and establishing economic relations with the Chechen people. But inshallah, we will prevail.
يزول ماسك كذا داخلي أنبولش فينا نختي ماركع دوكو كونسلاجر نختي بوفيت كيرتشيتا نختي ويخنشة ملوش كوستيها حالوتي نختي شوالتا جيم بوقا سوشا الله يقول باير خلق بور يتر يخ تي ابسرشة نختي تي جاجتشا أختي تابوكا دبعي تابوكا.
During the war, Chechens were oppressed in their own homeland. They were arrested haphazardly and taken to filtration camps and concentration camps. And if you wanted to free your relatives or your friends, you had to pay to the Russian soldiers in order to free them. Even in some cases, we had to buy back the dead bodies of our men in Chechnya.
I ukur nochtje wilks doos van de woes heisen de koder stagwat voor I nochtje o ihdi woes nochtje tun sido woes шесть чуть ахказах вош is zul kar dat
They realized that kidnapping is such a shameful act in the Chechen society. It is contrary to the tradition and customs of the Chechen people, realizing that the Russians are staging these kidnappings to trying to vilify the Chechen people and present us as brutal and uncivilized people.
Alhamdulillah, they opened it on both books. Hard to shape the acts, Izulum,
But by the grace of Allah, all these atrocities and conspiracies that the Russians are holding in Chechnya did not prevail and will not prevail, and we are doing fine, alhamdulillah. And we have enough free and young men in Chechnya to oppose this kind of activity. Now they are trying to stifle and hold economic blockade of Chechnya. They don't allow cars to come in. They don't allow anybody to go out. They don't allow airplanes to come in. So the battle now, since they lost the battle in war, this is an economic war now. They are staging economic war to starve us to submission, but they will not succeed.
وين أفكر دكتور في الليدر لو يريتها تحاسك شكردو ما تشكردو سنديرة يحاسك شكردو ريتها ستنيخا خيردو تيخا يتريتنا إما بيرك خيردو تيخا ديل كراح ريت ديخا أفضل ملاح قالوا يتعريف
I have campaigned and let the Chechen people know that livelihood comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There were some people who believed that livelihood came from Russia, and we convinced them that Russia is not going to give them any livelihood. They should not expect it from them, and they should not be waiting from them. Livelihood comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will get our livelihood from Allah.
Allahu Akbar.
After the end of the war, we also have won a great diplomatic victory also, besides the military victory.
Войновчи омчеш лилори хартухлар ди башара вай лохчни газчни аляч омклар и том сесмклар и экипажа шоура في داخل يوم يوميت غاز قشني لوخشني هو دينانس لي شوز
On May 12, 1997, President Maskhadov and President Yeltsin signed a peace agreement in Moscow, and this peace agreement stipulates and acknowledges, the Russians acknowledge the the aggression that the Russians have befell on the Chechens for the last 400 years, and they do take blame for that, and they acknowledge that they have been the aggressors. That is a great diplomatic victory for us. And also the agreement stipulates that the future relationship between Russia and the Chechen Republic will be based solely on international law. The greatest victory on this is to make the Russians admit that they have been aggressive against the Chechen people for the last 400 years. In a subsequent meeting with President Yeltsin, President Maskhadov had submitted to him a detailed proposal to establish diplomatic relations between the Federal Republic of Russia and the independent Chechen Republic of Ishki. In 1 hour and a half of negotiations with Yeltsin, Yeltsin realized that he has no choice but to sign that agreement, and he believes, President Maskhadov believes, with the help of Allah, Yeltsin is going to be forced to sign that agreement.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
The results of the war in Chechnya have been that almost every town and village in Chechnya have been razed to ground. People are in bad economic situation. Economic situation is harsh and tough for all people. And in order to alleviate that problem, the Chechen Republic, headed by the president, feels that they have to go out and reach out to other governments and see what could be done to alleviate the economic burden on the Chechen people, and that's why he came to the United States to start that mission in the United States first. When I meet with the American officials up here, I let them know why I am here. The first thing I tell them is I am here to let you know what the Chechen people are and what the Chechen government is. And we tell them right up front that we are not here begging, we are not asking for any aid from you. We are here to let you know who we are, and if you, after knowing what we are, want to do business with us, you will be welcome to do business with us. He is thankful to Allah that He has given him the power and the ability to be able to go to Moscow and to Washington to state the case of the Chechen people. In his discussions in the United States, he let them know that any problem that is in the Caucasus in general cannot be settled, cannot be discussed without the involvement of the Chechen people. Without the Chechen involvement, no problem will be resolved in the Caucasus, and he made it clear to the American officials up here, and they understood that point.
Soyuncu Novçi prezident Ameriki var diplomatiski нет. Kuzak söküş hoş piyat kügül baş hoş piyatları iza inziye bu bulun bu gaz kısım çok diyorum.
As the president of the Chechen Republic, to come on this mission and to establish relations with officials of the United States is a big diplomatic victory for the Chechen people and is a big defeat for the Russian government.
Dogar Markalbo, Maskhadov, Busov, Stagna, Uelense, Singertsma, Deshdoanse, Namase, Novçi, Komante, Baldi, İş, Deli, Dihar, Isingertam, Lakbar, İş, Sigah, Uel, Laktar, İşu, Uela, Laknikas.
From my heart, I thank every Muslim who has felt with the Chechen people in their suffering, who has made dua for them, who has including the Chechens in their prayers. We thank you all, and we realize your concern, and we are very thankful for that.
Of the Caucasus. As such, we feel deeply for the suffering of the Chechen people, and we are very proud of their victory, the courageous times they have endured, and